Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and distinguished guest. So I want to begin tonight with a quote, and it goes something like this. There is no such thing as a self-made man. We are made up of thousands of others. Everyone who has ever done a kind deed for us or spoken one word of encouragement to us has entered into the makeup of our character and our thoughts as well as our success. So I like that quote because, when you hear the term self-made person, I think that's a little the ego speaking right there. And we must give thanks to everyone that has, that we've learned from, good or bad. So I remember stepping into my first Toastmaster meeting 10 years ago, and I believe I was one of the youngest members at that time. And when I saw everybody go up, I saw them very well polished, very well dressed, and you could tell they had a lot of wisdom, the majority of the people that were in there, and including Mr. G, who is right now in this meeting, I think the eldest Toastmaster member. So definitely learned a lot from them, but I definitely felt that fear. I felt like I needed to sharpen up, and I did. I believe that I did improve. I was fortunate to have a great mentor, and his name is Dan Reza. Now, I learned a lot from Dan. And I did see him give presentations before me, so I always thought that he was this great speaker. But when we were practicing our presentation, when I was practicing my presentation with him, I would see how much work he puts into preparing. I would see, what it takes to become a good speaker, and not only how to present, but also how to prepare. So today I'm going to talk about, what makes a good mentor. And I will give you three tips on how to become a good mentor. So number one is be reliable. Being a mentor, you have to keep your word. And whenever you schedule an appointment with your mentee, make sure to keep it. And also make sure to remind the person, your mentee, of your meeting, because nowadays, even through COVID-19 pandemic, people are, I believe, more busy than ever before, because we're constantly, it's Zoom meeting after Zoom meeting after Zoom meeting, that, after all that, we're zoomed out pretty much. So, if you want to become a good member, make sure that you're reliable. Make sure that you do everything in your power to keep that meeting with your mentee, and keep it professional. Send a Google invite, send a reminder of an hour before. Try to make it hard for them to back off from your meeting with your mentee, because they will try to back off. And I know, because I've done that a couple of times with my mentor, and last minute, like, oh, I can't make it, sorry. And it was just because, I didn't prioritize our meeting, and it just happens, So number two, perspective and wisdom. It's important to share your perspective and wisdom. Everybody learn how to present differently. Some people learn from looking at TED Talks. Other people learn from speaking at work. Other people learn from Toastmasters. So, everyone has their own road, and it's good to share that with your mentee. Make sure that you tell them the negative parts of what you went through, because no one is perfect. And if you make yourself seem like you're mightier than thou, then, you're just gonna like scare your mentees. You're gonna scare people that are barely trying to get out of their shell. So it's definitely important to be transparent whenever you're sharing your wisdom to others. Finally, tailor your approach to your mentee. You're going to have various mentees in different areas of your life. Toastmasters is just one of them. Make sure that you have an assessment. Your first meeting should be an assessment. See what level your mentee is, see what their goals are, find out what their strengths and weaknesses are. Excuse me. Make sure to don't treat each mentee the same. Treat them how how you see them, how you feel they're going to be improving in your sight. Sometimes we have this vision, especially for Toastmasters that have been here for years. You have this vision on how long a person should be moving along, and if they stick to the schedule, if a person does give a presentation every meeting or at least every month, you're definitely going to see some improvement. So those are three of my tips that I've learned throughout my years. Be reliable, share your perspective and wisdom with your mentee, and tailor your approach to them. But also remember that the mentee has to put in work as well. It's like that quote, how's it go? Is you can lead a horse to water, but you can't force him to drink. You could schedule disappointments, you could share wisdom, you can motivate them, but if they don't follow through, then don't beat yourself down. You just keep bringing that momentum, keep bringing that energy with all your mentees, and and Toastmaster at work, everywhere, every part of your life. So thank you again, and thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.